Emotions you can't quite name clash violently inside you, just like how he's gonna clash violently inside me later, hopefully. Hello, and welcome to How to Break Up with Your Yandere Boyfriend. This is a Yandere dating sim in which you are attempting to break up with your absolutely perfect boyfriend, Soren. But unfortunately, there's just one problem. He would really prefer if you didn't do that. After all, you don't want his perfect facade to crack and reveal what's truly hiding underneath. Right? Let's get started. God, he looks so good. Type your username, Yinny. Hey Yinny. The sound of your name jolts you back to reality. You blink, realizing you've been staring blankly at your open computer screen for who knows how long, doing absolutely nothing. Your gaze drifts to the clock on the wall, still office hours, before shifting to the person who called your name. It's your coworker, the one you've been working closely with for a while now. Unlike the other person she replaced, the two of you get along surprisingly well. For a moment, you stare blankly at the file she extended towards you. Oh no, is this more overtime? I can't do overtime. I gotta go home early, I have Yowie to read tonight. They need some last minute changes before sending them to the client. Something about increasing the font size by a point. Ugh, annoying. She mimics your boss's mannerisms perfectly, coaxing a faint smile from you. As you take the files, your fingers instinctively return to the keyboard, tapping out the same monotonous rhythm as always. You still haven't talked to him, have you? A few people pass by your desk, arguing loudly, but you keep your eyes fixed on the screen and mutter, not yet. How much longer are you gonna delay this? It won't change anything. I know. Your coworker takes a sip from her mug without lifting her hands from the keyboard, then grimaces. Thanks to your boss dragging out the meeting, the coffee's gone ice cold. You can't keep doing this. Weren't you dead set on telling him last night? You roll your eyes dramatically and exhale, knowing full well she won't see it. I tried, but in the middle of our video call, his dog suddenly started throwing up. How was I supposed to drop a breakup on him like that? I'm not that heartless. Was it serious? You tried to recall the last message your boyfriend sent you this morning. I think she swallowed something or had an allergic reaction. Either way, I'm sure she's fine now. Soren took her to the vet this morning. Perfect opportunity. Call him somewhere after work and talk. Soren would never leave his dog alone like that. He's crazy attached to her. It'll only take half an hour. No way. How am I supposed to explain why I'm breaking up with him in half an hour? Impossible. Long list of red flags, huh? That's okay, we'll just put on some rose-tinted glasses. People break up with a single text these days. That's way too harsh. Besides, he'd never accept it. Your coworker suddenly stops typing and turns to you confused. You don't need him to accept it, just tell him you don't feel the same anymore. Unless that's actually not the case. Your fingers freeze mid-type. Of course it is. Alright, don't get mad. If you're so sure about breaking up, why keep delaying it? You swallow hard before answering, as if you've been asking yourself the same thing. Of course this isn't the kind of conversation you can resolve in the middle of a workday, mid-conversation with a coworker. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not good at breaking hearts as you are. See? More excuses. Maybe you should reconsider. You might regret it later. No, I have to end it. Like I said, my feelings changed. I know how good he is to me, how devoted he is, but I can't return it. Lately, I've even been thinking about my ex. I haven't. My ex was trash. Defensive now, your voice rises slightly. Not that I want him back, it's just things were so different with him. Maybe Soren and I just aren't right for each other. To your surprise, your coworker nods. That's fair. I'm sure I'll be happier with someone else too. You're right. I'll tell him today, and this time I mean it. Just send the files on your desk tremble slightly, startling you. Oh my god, I love this game so much! I also made a video on this game that you guys should absolutely check out, and also download the game and try it out yourself because it was an absolute banger. It was so good. It takes you a second to realize it's just your phone vibrating beneath them. But the moment you see his name flashing on the screen, an odd tension coils in your chest. Your eyes dart to your coworkers. It's him. Unlike you, she looks almost excited, nudging you towards the phone. Man, wait, hang on. Why do I want to break up with Soren? I want to find out. Perfect timing. Check what he wrote. Whose printout is this? It got mixed with mine. Someone's grumbling by the printer and your coworker jumps up in a hurry. Left alone, you hesitate. A part of you dreads whatever new complication this message might bring. Something that could unravel your resolve. Your finger hovers before finally tapping the screen. You exhale sharply, leaning back in your chair and closing your eyes. Waiting for test results. They say she ate something she shouldn't have. Little frowny faces. Hey love. We finished early at the vet, so I went shopping. Got this ribs you love, cooking you a special dinner tonight. Just the two of us, what do you say? Okay, there's probably a genuine reason as to why I'm breaking up with such a hot specimen of a man. But I feel bad. Your coworker rushes back, papers in hand. What do you say? You glance around the office, making sure no one's paying attention and show her the message. This is great. All we have to do is go, then explain things as kindly as possible. From what I remember at the company dinner, Soren seemed like a very reasonable, kind guy. You land things clean. No drama. I don't know about that. You're no doubt Soren is reasonable, level-headed even. Yeah. I mean, we all saw him shirtless and covered in blood on the front cover with a knife, right? And yet, the thought of having that conversation stirs an inexplicable unease in you. You can't explain why. Soren's the definition of ordinary. Dog, remote job, weekends split between bad movies and you. No surprises, no drama, just life. Painfully ordinary. Maybe that's part of why you want to leave, compared to your ex. No, you can't make that comparison yet, not until this is over. But he genuinely sounds lovely. I guess sometimes you just fall out of love. With a quick tap at the keyboard, you reply, "Of course I'll be there." The rest of the workday passes in a hectic blur, yet somehow faster than you expected. By the time you're packing up and chatting with coworkers on your way out, you realize you're in the best mood you've been in for days. Your coworker flashes you a knowing smile before parting ways. "Don't forget to text me updates, I'll be waiting." But the moment dinner crosses your mind, all your anxieties come crashing back down like a weight on your shoulders. You freeze mid-sidewalk, earning a few annoyed bumps from passerbys. Oh, right. See ya. Since you need to stop by your place first, you hurry onto the crowded metro and pull out your phone, only to find bad news waiting. You notice you haven't picked up your dress yet. It's freshly cleaned and waiting for you at Suds and Suds. Don't forget to stop by during our hours. No, Soren hasn't cancelled. Worse, you completely forgot to pick up your dress from the dry cleaners for your best friend's birthday party tomorrow. Your stomach drops as you reread the reminder text, double checking the shop's address and hours. This kinda looks like a train in Australia, because we've got the yellow and like the pattern seats and stuff. The dry cleaner is in the exact opposite direction of Soren's place. If you go now, you'll definitely be late for dinner. Your other option, skip the party entirely. With tomorrow's big client meeting, your boss won't give you even an hour's break, and you can't exactly show up to your friend's fancy venue in some random outfit. Oh no, I don't want to be inconsiderate. Damn it. Why did I mess up like this? Okay, well, this time, I think we'll skip the dry cleaners. We'll definitely swing by in the next run though. Skip dry cleaners. The priority tonight is clear. You need to have that talk with Soren. What you wear to your best friend's birthday party tomorrow, that's tomorrow's problem. You know Soren won't mind the delay, but you refuse to stack another lie onto this guilt. Besides, every minute you delay is another crack in your resolve. If you don't do this now, you chicken out. Again, the metro door slides shut behind you, sealing the choice. It shouldn't hurt this much, just a stupid dress. Just one missed party, but your chest tightens anyway. You rush home, showering in a haze, and throw on something comfortable before sliding into the waiting Uber. Since Soren's place is quite far from the city centre, you have plenty of time during the journey, and the question that has been weighing on your mind for days resurfaces once again. Is breaking up with him truly the right decision? If you were to bypass your indecisive reasoning and instead trust your feelings just as you intend to tonight, you would find your answer crystal clear. You no longer want to continue this relationship. There's something wrong here. Something that simply feels wrong to you. Maybe we're catching the underlying Yandere vibes? Just then your phone buzzes with a notification, pulling you from your thoughts. Assuming it's a message from your boyfriend, you reach for your phone, but the name that flashes across the screen makes your heart involuntarily quicken its pace. Is it my ex? It is! Lars. Whoa! That's our ex-boyfriend. Hello, how you doing? You come here often? Wowee! How far down does that snake go, if you know what I mean? Yay! Your ex-boyfriend, or rather, the ex-boyfriend who has been creeping into your thoughts more and more lately. What size bra do you wear? Hi, it's been a while. I hope you're doing well. Sorry if I'm bothering you, I just want to know if you're coming to the party tomorrow. As you read the message, an inexplicable thrill rises within you, knowing Lars's fondness for crowded, lively gatherings and the fact that he shares mutual friends with Mia, whose birthday is tomorrow. You're certain he'll be there. But what puzzles you is why, after all these months of silence, his first message is about this. You have no idea. Should you respond? Your fingers hesitate over the screen, your inner voice whispering that it would be a mistake, yet another part of you burns to know. Has he really moved on? And aches to answer him, aching for more than just answering him. I like drama, let's text him. Finally, you overcome your hesitation and let your fingers tap against the keyboard. Hi Lars. Yeah, it really has been a while. I haven't decided about the party yet. Truthfully, since you highly doubt you'll find anything decent to wear by tomorrow, you'll probably end up using your breakup as an excuse to skip your friend's birthday party altogether. Either way, there's no need for Lars to know all that. Your thumb hovers over send. Just as you're about to slide the phone into your pocket, another vibration pulses against your palm. I understand. The speed of the reply surprises you, especially considering Lars was never exactly known for being prompt when it came to answering texts. I also realized my question must have sounded stupid. Yes, it did. You do sound very stupid. I hate you. I just figured you'd be coming with your boyfriend, and if you two were going to be there, I was thinking of skipping it. Now I'm just as undecided as you are. Oh, drama. I love drama. There's something about Lars's messages so different from the careless and confident attitude you remember that leaves you momentarily unsure of how to interpret them. What you do understand is that he seems less interested in whether you're attending the party, and more concerned about whether your boyfriend will be there. But why? A strange unease stirs inside you as you realize that beyond you, Soren and Lars have absolutely nothing in common. Should you ask him about it? Or should you end the conversation here and focus on the last evening you spent with Soren? Ask him. The gnawing pull of curiosity quickly overwhelms your hesitation, feeding your unease. So whether you go to the party depends on us. Thankfully tonight, Lars seems to have abandoned all his old habits and he doesn't avoid giving you a clear direct answer. Yes, or rather, I'm obviously not lumping you in with him. I just don't want to run into your boyfriend and end up ruining the night for both of us. Whoa, why is that? Tell me more. I thought you never would have considered. Something that had never even crossed your mind suddenly surfaces. This time, even though you see that Lars is online, he doesn't reply right away. Did something happen between you and Soren behind my back? Well, you'd be better off asking him that. It's not my place to interfere in your relationship. It's just thinking back to the past. I wish things had turned out differently. What do you mean? You cheated on me for like a year. Though you know Lars is never the kind to apologize to anyone, his final message somehow feels like an apology. You admit you still miss him, it doesn't really matter anymore. Ooh, oh no. No, I'm not gonna go behind Soren's back until we're broken up. It doesn't really matter anymore. You had once longed to hear words like that from him. Back then, you had been ready to forgive all his mistakes without hesitation. But that was before you met Soren. Before your relationship with him began. Now, after experiencing Soren's steady, caring love, the kind that made you feel truly safe, you find yourself far less willing to return to the passionate, thrilling yet exhausting days you once shared with Lars. Even though Lars's messages hint that maybe he too has changed, you're determined to tread carefully this time. Still, the idea of seeing or speaking to him at tomorrow's birthday party doesn't seem quite as terrible as it once would have. Pushing all thoughts of Lars aside for now, you turn your attention back to Soren. As you step out of the Uber, you notice that the light patter of raindrops tapping against the car window has turned into a steady downpour. You pick up your pace, crossing the small garden of Soren's house, an old but sturdy-looking two-story detached home, its renovations perpetually postponed. You rush beneath the pergola at the entrance, doing your best to shield yourself from the rain. As you press the doorbell, you take a moment to notice how the neighborhood, made up entirely of similar detached houses, remains just as calm and quiet as ever, rain or not. Soon the muffled sound of footsteps and a distant dog bark pierce through the hum of the rain. Then the door swings open and there he is. Oh, do we get a pan? Oh, yeah. You're so cute. Look, I know our ex was hot, but I much prefer darker-haired men. Wow, his waist is diabolically tiny. What size bra do you wear? And despite the difference in your heights, he leans forward just enough for you to clearly see the warm smile spreading across his face. Welcome home, love. Come on in. Don't get any wetter. In what way? I don't think I could get any wetter if I tried. You're gorgeous. Yiddy! He steps inside to let you in. As soon as you cross the threshold, the familiar warmth of the house wraps around you. The contrast between it and the cool damp air outside, or perhaps the weight of what's about to happen, sends a faint shiver down your spine. Just then, Soren closes the door swiftly behind you and turns to face you. I want to kiss him. As you step closer, trying to suppress the tension building inside you, the scent of his cologne suddenly fills your nose, fresh, clean, and somehow teasing enough to stir something in you. Before you even realize what you're doing, you rise slightly on your toes and lean in towards his lips. It's already too late to pull back. Oh, he's so cute when he blushes. I don't want to break up with him. Hell no. What the heck? Soren responds with just the slightest pressure and warmth against your mouth. A fleeting touch. Of course, it remains a simple greeting kiss rather than deepening into passion. Perfectly in keeping with Soren's usual reserve in such matters, and perfectly suited to how this evening should progress. As you pull away with a smile, you feel his eyes lingering on you, and for the briefest second you could swear the calm softness in his expression shifts into something else. Something more difficult to name. Probably just your nerves playing tricks on you. Is he gonna break up with us? Oh, hello, cute little dog. And just then, the dog trots over to the door where you're both standing, her tiny body trembling with excitement as she begins to growl at you with surprising volume for her size. You notice a wet mark around her mouth and immediately understand that Soren must have tried to distract her with food before opening the door, hoping to soften her mood. But clearly she couldn't be bothered to finish her snack when the opportunity to antagonize you was too tempting. You miss Yinny too, didn't you, princess? Missed me? Princess looks like she wants me dead. And Princess is a small, greedy, one-eyed chihuahua mix that Soren adopted. And though he refuses to admit it, she absolutely has anger issues. Truthfully, with her temperament and the eye patch she wears, Pirate would have been a more fitting name. Don't mind her, she always gets a little sensitive after the vet. Oh, of course, no problem. But you know damn well it has nothing to do with the vet. She's despised you from the moment you met, for reasons you never understood. Not that you can say that to Soren, who somehow still believes his princess is the sweetest, gentlest dog alive. Luckily, as long as he's around, her hatred doesn't escalate beyond bared teeth and growls. So as you both head back to the living room, she settles for glaring daggers at your back. Why can't we just get along? She's so cute. Ask about the dog's condition. Princess is completely fine, right? I mean, I'm breaking up with him, but I'm not heartless. As always, his eyes soften the moment his dog is mentioned. Yes, definitely. She has ate something she shouldn't have. As you can see, she's already back to her usual self. Even though you and this tiny angry dog don't exactly get along, you still feel relieved by his words, especially after remembering how anxious he was last night. I'm glad it wasn't anything serious. You were really worried. Soren nods, and a slight sheepish smile pulls at the corner of his lips. Yeah, I guess I panicked thinking I might actually lose her. I must have ruined your night too. Hopefully tonight's dinner makes up for it. No, please don't say that. Accept your fate and let the dog silently judge you through dinner. Will Princess be joining us for dinner too? It lets out a soft laugh at your question. Unfortunately, she wasn't patient enough to wait for dinner with you, my love. Of course, that's not exactly what you meant, especially with Princess glaring at you like a tiny beast ready to pounce. Thankfully, he seems to notice your unease and doesn't push the joke any further. She'll probably fall asleep soon and head off to her bed. The moment you step into the living room, the mouth-watering aroma of fried ribs spilled from the kitchen wrapping around you. A single glance at the table tells you everything. The carefully arranged plates, the candles casting their warm glow, your favorite wine chilling in an ice bucket. It's painfully clear how much effort Soren put into this dinner, and the guilt inside you swells just a little more. Oh no, I feel really bad now. How many of your exes have ever cooked a meal for you like this? Better question, how many have ever cooked for you at all? Not reheated leftovers, not takeout, cooked. Was there even one among them who appreciated a meal that you prepared? Alright fine, you'll give Lars a pass here. After all, you can't ignore the extravagant restaurants he took you to. But one thought lingers, refusing to be dismissed. Maybe the real problem isn't this relationship but your own feelings. Maybe what you should do is silence those unreliable emotions, the ones that keep dragging you into the wrong relationships, and finally listen to logic. Maybe instead of breaking up with Soren, you should be proposing to him. Whoa! But why would Soren accept a proposal from someone like you? He has a better job, a nicer house, a reliable car, a beloved dog, hobbies that fulfill him, and a life that seems to be going perfectly well. Meanwhile, you have nothing but a job you constantly complain about, a few old friends, weak family ties, and a bunch of trauma and debt left over from terrible past decisions. The only thing you can offer him are your rather feeble love compared to his, some sex, maybe a bit of charm, and a whole lot of chatter. No, you're not being too harsh on yourself. You just want to remind yourself of the truth, that's all. Unlike your previous partners, you never understood what exactly keeps him in this relationship. Maybe he just likes you for who you are. Could this be what they call true love? Honestly, you really don't think so. Whatever it is that draws him to you, you're sure it's something that could fade, run out, or diminish at any moment. If that happens later, it'll be even worse for the both of you, so the best thing to do is to end it now. Oh, so I'm just insecure, is that it? You quickly jump in, trying to come up with an excuse for your unusually long silence caused by your thoughts. Everything looks amazing. Even such simple praise is enough to make his eyes light up. I'm so glad you like it. The food's almost ready. Do you need any help? No need, darling. I've got it. Please, just sit and relax for a bit. After checking out his dog, who has now gone to her bed in the corner, Soren smiles at you and disappears down the hallway. While you wait for him, maybe you could do something. Go to the kitchen. Even though Soren didn't ask for your help, you feel it wouldn't be right to just sit back and relax while he prepares something for you in the kitchen. Besides, it's your last evening together, or so you say. Of course, the presence of the dog still curled up in the bed, yet clearly alert, might have also influenced your decision. As the footsteps fade down the hallway, you leave the living room and follow him into the spacious, airy kitchen. Nothing like the small open kitchen in your studio apartment. The moment you step inside, you're startled by the sight of the kitchen table already lined with mezes, salads, and other dishes. You really didn't have to go through all this trouble. He, standing at the counter with his back to you, turns his head at the sound of your voice. You told me lately you've been skipping meals because of work. We need to take care of your nutrition, darling. I don't want you getting sick. Oh, you can't even remember when you said that to him. Probably just slipped out during one of your usual phone rants about how your boss dumps all the work on you. Yet somehow, he always seems to care more about the things you say than even you do. Your voice quivers slightly as you speak. That's very thoughtful. Thank you. Don't mention it, darling. You know I always enjoy these things for you, so don't worry about anything tonight. Just enjoy it. Offer to help. Driven by a definite need to erase your guilt, you jump in. I want to help. I can chop those spinach leaves, for example. So the breakup with him meter is constantly going down? He lifts his hand from the bowl he's mixing and glances at the bunch of spinach you point to, smiling. I think we already have enough spinach for the salad, darling. Just having you here is enough for me. But if you really insist, I'd appreciate if you could tidy up a bit. Especially if you could put those spinach leaves back in the fridge before they spoil any further. Oh, of course! You're relieved to have something to do. And you begin putting away the items that have been used in the meal prep and then forgotten. At the very least, you hope that after everything is over and you leave his house, you'll have shortened this painful phase when Soren cleans up and feels like all his effort was for nothing. Meanwhile, your eyes are drawn to a small pile of knives stacked haphazardly at the far end of the table. They're clearly large, broad and sturdy, no doubt about that. But you can't quite imagine what they'd be used for in a normal kitchen. And despite how solid they look, the knives seem quite old. Judging by their worn handles and dull sheen, they've definitely been used many times. Even without leaning in too close, you can smell the harsh scent of cleaning chemicals that's clinging to them. Ask Soren. Don't ask Soren. I will ask, why are those knives so clean and clearly scrubbed with something clinical? Did you kill someone? Unable to contain your curiosity, you call out to him, who still has his back to you. What are those knives for? Ooh. Caught off guard by the sudden question, he turns towards you with the pan still in his hand. Huh? Oh, those are my grandfather's butcher knives. When he closed the shop, he sold most of the large tools and machines, but he kept the knives because he loved them. You lightly touch the sharp edge of one of the blades with your finger. They still seem pretty sharp. Do you use them often? He chuckles softly and returns the pan to the stove. They still come in handy from time to time, but mostly I just clean them and keep them for sentimental reasons. Let me handle them, sweetheart. You might hurt yourself. You're right, I'm clumsy enough as it is. Heating is morning, you back away from the knives and open the fridge door to put away the last few items on the table. As you do, your attention is drawn to the top shelf, packed with plastic wrapped packages of meat. Are you a cannibal? It's clear he recently stocked up, but there's a problem. Only a few packages seem store-bought. Most of them don't have any kind of label indicating date, type, or weight. Do you eat people, and not in the sexy way? A chill runs down your spine. What if the mouth-watering smell filling the kitchen right now is coming from one of those packages? Where did you get this meat, Soren? I don't see any dates on them. You can't stop your voice from trembling slightly. They're fresh cuts from a butcher, I trust. There is absolutely nothing to worry about, sweetheart. I never poison you. You're always safe with me. Oh, that's not what I meant. Your cheeks flush involuntarily, and you feel embarrassed, as if a secret had just slipped out. The memory is still fresh. Your mother, who was never fond of cooking or taking care of you and your sister, once poisoned you both with expired food, while trying to prove something to your constantly criticizing father. It was something he never told anyone, not even Soren. Trying to brush it off and move past the odd moment, you say the first thing that comes to your mind. You've definitely been eating a lot of meat lately. I would also like to eat some meat. Whip it out. I'm just trying to stick to my diet with the new weight training I've started. So tell me, do you think it's paying off? I doubt I can give a proper answer with that sweater on. Yeah, take it off. The words slip out before you can stop them, and you immediately regret your thoughtless remark, but his response catches you even more off guard. I could take it off if you like. Yeah, yes. Yes, please. Woohoo! Yay, that's what we're waiting for. As your gaze shifts to him, you catch something intense in his eyes, and you feel a rush of heat start in your belly and spread throughout your body. You haven't had sex with him since the thought of breaking up first crossed your mind. That period has been unusually long for you, yet you never thought of it as strange. Soren has always been more reserved and understanding than your previous boyfriends, and intimacy was never a big part of your relationship. But now you notice he's being more forward than ever. How about after dinner? Yeah, how about after dinner? And you can be dessert and we can eat your buns. Of course you can't break the news to him right here and now, so you have no choice but to postpone it. You have to bring up the issue during dinner. Otherwise your impulses might take advantage of his boldness and muddle everything. And it wouldn't be the first time. Every time you caught Lars cheating on you, you'd repeat to yourself that this was the end and be completely determined to cut all ties. But then when he showed up at your door sometime later saying he just wanted to talk, that resolve would take its first hit. Letting him inside would be the irreversible mistake that erased it altogether. Luckily, he had at least enough decency to eventually leave you himself, breaking the humiliating cycle and making you feel like a total fool. Anyway, there's no use thinking about those days anymore. You swallow hard, trying to smooth the crack in your voice. Right now, I'm starving. Yeah, starving for sausage. Soren's laughter fills the kitchen, finally breaking the tension in your wait. Then let's make sure you're nice and full first up. Whoa, nice and full in what way? Like in the food way or in the other way? Come on, let's eat before the meat gets cold. What meat? Your meat? God damn it. As you follow him into the living room, all you can do is pray that for once luck is on your side. Your final dinner with Soren begins like any other, despite the tension churning inside of you. The scent of the warm lamb chops he just served reaches your nose, and you realize you're actually hungry. He takes his seat across from you at the table and offers an encouraging smile. Please, try it, love. I hope you like it. After everything he's done to prepare this for you, there's no way you could refuse. You pick up your fork under his attentive gaze and bring one of the pre-sliced pieces to your mouth. You don't need to be gourmet to know that this is perfection. The crispness on the outside, the tenderness of the juicy center, the way every spice is balanced just right. You've always known he was skilled in the kitchen, but this is flawless, absolutely perfect. I've never had anything like this in my life. He doesn't just react to the compliment itself. What satisfies him more is what he sees in your face and in your eyes. Even in the soft glow of the candlelight, you can tell the emotion welling up behind his gaze. Smiling, he leans forward to refill your wine glass. I'm so glad to hear that, love. Yes, now whip it out. For the next minute or so. The only sounds of the rain tapping against the window and your utensils against the plate. Even Princess is absent, granting you both a moment of rare privacy. Continue eating. Continue staring at these. These are like some badonga lahongas, Jesus. Your gaze drifts towards the window, noticing the rain outside has picked up. The thought of the car journey in this weather begins to feel more and more unappealing. Besides, you're not exactly eager to leave this warm, peaceful home and return to your own small but chaotic studio apartment. You decide the breakup conversation can wait a little longer. To be continued. No! He didn't even try to kill me! Alright, that's it. This time, we're gonna be super mean and see what we can do. Okay, we're back here. This time we're gonna swing by the dry cleaners. The weight of the impending conversation with Soren already presses down on you. But right now, more than anything, you need this. An evening with friends. A chance to breathe. You owe yourself that small mercy. Besides, Mia isn't just any friend, she's your childhood confidant. You can never abandon her on her birthday. You hop off the metro and power walk to the dry cleaners, arriving just before closing time. As you clutch the freshly cleaned dress and step back into the street, a wave of relief washes over you. Tomorrow's party will be perfect. You'll laugh, you'll forget, you'll live. But then it hits you. You need to text Soren. Hey, running a bit late, something urgent came up at work. A pang of guilt stabs your chest as you hit send. You should explain, but how? He doesn't even know about the party or the breakup, and now is definitely not the time. His reply pings instantly. No worries, babe. Oh, he's genuinely so sweet, but I just know, I know deep inside he's a freak. Like he's covered in blood. The message conjures a memory. Your last night out together, rushing down the stairs in heels, one snapping mid-step. Don't rush, be careful. I can come pick you up if you like. Oh my god. You nearly tumbled headfirst if he hadn't caught you. He buried that humiliating moment, yet he remembers. Thanks, but no need. I'll keep you posted. You rush home, shower in a haze, and throw on something comfortable before sliding into the waiting Uber. Of course, you don't forget to text Soren. On my way now. The word we sends an involuntary ripple of unease through you. Until you remember. Right, just him and his dog, like always. Great, babe, we're waiting for you. Aww. Tonight you won't tolerate any distractions. No excuses, no turning back. Since Soren's place is quite far from the city center, you have plenty of time during the journey, and the question that has been weighing on your mind for days resurfaces once again. Is breaking up with him truly the right decision? Okay, this is the same. And then our ex texts us. Well, this time we're not texting Lars. You slip your phone back into your pocket and turn to look out the window. Right now, you have neither the time nor the energy to respond to that message or to dwell on what might be going through Lars's mind. You know the reason he's been creeping back into your thoughts lately is because of the emotional void and anxiety stirred by your decision to end things with Soren. You've experienced this pattern in past relationships too, but the past needs to stay where it belongs, behind you. As you step out of the Uber, you notice that the light patter of raindrops tapping against the car window has turned into a steady downpour. Seeing how dark the sky has grown, you check the time on your phone only to realize you're running later than you thought. The realization sends a ripple of tension through you. You pick up your pace, crossing the small garden of Soren's house. An old but sturdy-looking two-story detached home, its renovations perpetually postponed. You rush beneath the pergola at the entrance, doing your best to shield yourself from the rain. As you press the doorbell, you take a moment to notice how the neighborhood, made up of entirely similar detached houses, remains just as calm and quiet as ever, rain or not. Soon the muffled sound of footsteps and a distant dog bark pierce through the hum of the rain. The door swings open and there he is. Hi, I'm sorry I'm late. Please don't, you're making me feel bad. I'm sorry. You're also very good looking and very hot. Despite the difference in your heights, he leans forward just enough for you to clearly see the warm smile spreading across his face. Welcome, love. Come on in. Don't get any weather. Distracting. Alright. As much as I want to bury my face into his chest, but as much as I want to, I will have to do nothing. It might be best to put a little distance between you and him, especially with the breakup talk still looming ahead. So instead of hugging or kissing him like you usually would, you settle for a warm smile. Unlike you, Soren leans in and presses a small kiss to your cheek, either unaware of your reserved demeanor or choosing to ignore it. Just then, the dog trots over to the door where you're both standing, her tiny body trembling with excitement as she begins to growl at you with surprising volume for her size. I've already seen this, but this time, we're not going to ask about the dog's condition. The last thing you want to think about right now is Princess, so you skip over any updates about her condition without a second thought. After all, she was the one who ruined your video call last night, the one that delayed this breakup conversation to tonight. Oh, I feel bad. You could even say she's indirectly responsible for you missing the chance to pick up the dress for tomorrow's birthday party, meaning you'll probably miss it altogether. And that will most likely damage things with Mia, your best friend who invited you. Okay, fine. You're just tense. And maybe a little unfairly demonizing a tiny grumpy dog. Alright, then we're in here. This time instead of choosing to go to the kitchen, I think we're going to stay here instead. Alright, let's pick stay here in the living room. Before such an important conversation, you need a moment alone to gather your courage. Taking a deep breath, you sit on the couch. The wooden display cabinets, drawers, trinkets, porcelain, everything in the room, like the rest of the house, still preserves the arrangement inherited from Soren's grandfather and grandmother. Everything feels so familiar and comforting. As the rain outside intensifies, the murmur of raindrops hitting the windows grows louder, and you find yourself feeling surprisingly peaceful, as if you truly belong there. You know that by breaking up with him, You'd be saying goodbye not only to him but to all these beautiful memories as well. Cut the sentimentality and focus on your decision. Look at the family photos. Ooh, okay. We're gonna cut the sentimentality and focus on the decision because I do want to break up with him once, and then we'll go back and do all the extra stuff. But this isn't your first time. Of course, you can't compare your relationship with Soren to your previous ones. Among all your past boyfriends, he's the one who showed you the most care and attention. And he entered your life a moment when you needed someone the most, proving that miracles can still happen in this world. Even so, that didn't guarantee your relationship would last forever, or that your feelings would never change. Just like now. You're grateful for having met him, and for the time you spent together. No matter how he reacts to your decision to break up, that truth won't change. At least you hope it won't. Moments later, you hear his footsteps approaching the living room. And now everything's ready. We can move to the table, darling. I feel so bad right now. I feel so bad. I'm breaking up with this gorgeous man. Your final dinner with Soren begins like any other, despite the tension churning inside you. As opposed to something from him churning inside me, I'm gonna miss him. As the scent of the warm lamb chops he just served reaches your nose, you realize you're actually hungry. He takes his seat across from you at the table and offers an encouraging smile. Please, try it, love. I hope you like it. After everything he's done to prepare this for you, there's no way you could refuse. You pick up your fork under his attentive gaze and bring one of the pre-sliced pieces to your mouth. You don't need to be a gourmet to know that this is perfection. The crispness of the outside, the tenderness of the juicy center, the way every spice is balanced just right. You've always known he was skilled in the kitchen, but this is flawless, just like him. Except for one flaw, he might be a murderer. Absolutely perfect. I've never had anything like this in my life. He doesn't just react to the compliment itself. What satisfies him more is what he sees in your face and your eyes. Even in the soft glow of the candlelight, you can tell the emotion welling up behind his gaze. Smiling, he leans forward to refill your glass of wine. I'm so glad to hear that, love. For the next minute or so, the only sounds are the rain tapping against the window and your utensils against the plate. Even Princess is absent, granting you both a moment of rare privacy. Tell him now. Okay, alright, we're gonna do it. Tell him now. There's nothing to gain from waiting longer. You believe he deserves to know why you really came here, and if you delay it with much more, you might lose the resolve to go through with it. You slowly set your fork on the edge of your plate and, mustering all your courage, lift your gaze to meet his. There's something I need to talk to you about. Oh no, I feel like the worst person. I am a piece of shit. A flicker of surprise crosses his face at the seriousness in your voice. Even so, when he speaks, his tone is just as soft and understanding as always. Of course, love. I'm always ready to listen to you. You take a deep breath, keeping your eyes on his. No stalling, no sugarcoating. I've been feeling like something's different lately about our relationship. Oh, here it is. Though the surprise in his expression deepens, he says nothing. He just watches you in silence, waiting. Always waiting for you to finish. Oh, I feel so bad. It's one of the things you love the most about him. And also, in this moment, one of the hardest to face. His way of truly listening. Of giving weight to every word you say. But there's no turning back now. You have to follow through. This isn't easy to say, but I think we need to break up. I am the worst person. I don't want to break up with him. I miss him. Can we go back? The tension in the room is so thick, your words seem to hang in the air like smoke. Breaking up with him? In his home? After he made dinner for you and you showed up late for? Oh, I truly am a terrible human being. His expression doesn't change. But you notice his eyes drift to his wine glass instead of staying on you. You give him space. Time to take it in. Just like how I'll never take him in again. No! The sound of rain seems to grow louder, pressing into the silence between you. When he finally looks back at you, the warm light that's always lived in his eyes is gone. I've broken him. I ruined him. I don't believe you made this decision on impulse, Yandere. But did I do something without realizing? Something that hurt you? His voice is so gentle, so considerate, that his response fills you with guilt, even though you know how deeply this must be hurting him. No, never. Honestly, it's quite the opposite, Soren. Out of all the men who've come and gone in my life, you are by far the best. The thought of losing you, it hurts me too. Still, none of that changes the quiet certainty that breaking up is the right thing to do. You speak again quickly, not wanting to give him room to hope. This is about me. My feelings. I just don't think I can return your love in the way you deserve. I don't think I can be truly happy in this relationship. He finally speaks, his voice quieter, more subdued. How long have you felt this way? Or rather, how long have you known? You hesitate, knowing too much detail will do more harm than good, but you can't ignore his question, since things got more serious between us. But the last month it's become something I just can't look past. I see. I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry for saying this during a dinner you prepared so thoughtfully. I couldn't keep it to myself any longer, you deserve to know. This time, the smile that forms on his lips is a little forced. Wounded but still kind. I'm gonna bash my head on the table. I'm a terrible person. Please don't feel guilty, Yandere. Of course we didn't enter this relationship expecting it to end this way, but not every relationship concludes as we hope. That's perfectly normal. It doesn't mean either of us did something wrong. You realize that by delaying this conversation for so long, you've only tortured yourself and in a way, been unfair to him. In the end, your coworker was right. Soren accepted your decision with grace, effortlessly dismantling the baseless fears you carried for so long. Once again, your instincts, those that pulled you into the wrong relationship time and time again, have proven to be flawed. He truly is different from all the others. In fact, he's perfect. And if you ever manage to escape the ghosts of your past relationships, maybe, just maybe, you could have quieted the part of your heart that refused to let him in. Things between you could have been so different. So much better. I feel terrible. I'm lucky to have met you, Soren. You don't hesitate. As you reach for his hand, he gently extends to you across the table. That familiar warmth flows into you, melting away all the tension that had clung to you for days. In this moment, you trust him more than ever. And I'm lucky to have you, Yinny. You've always been special to me, and you always will be. You catch the glow in his eyes grow brighter, but it doesn't last long. He gently pulls his hand back and slowly rises from his chair. Well then, I think we've come to a conclusion on this unpleasant but necessary matter. How about we continue dinner where we left off as good friends? I'll bring out dessert. I'm a terrible person. Before leaving the room, he pauses at the doorway and glances back at you. Of course, if you'd rather not stay, I can call a taxi to take you home. You narrow your eyes towards the clock above the fireplace. It's gotten quite late, yet spending time with him makes you feel better than you have in a long while. And you can't help but think about how lonely he might feel if you left him like this. I can never say no to dessert. Especially yours. You notice a subtle lift in his expression, and knowing your choice made him a little happier fills you with relief. Alright then, I'll be back. As he disappears into the kitchen, you let out a long breath. There's a strange lightness in your chest, part sadness and part calm. A moment later, he returns with your favorite dessert, creme brulee. There's still a quiet shadow behind his eyes, but the warmth in his smile quietly assures you that things are okay. The two of you enjoy the dessert while watching a comedy, never once bringing up the breakup again. In fact, the way he occasionally comments on the jokes only makes you laugh harder. It reminds you of the easy, joyful moments from when your friendship was just beginning. By the end of the night, you can't refuse when he offers to drive you home himself. Neither of you speak as the car glides along the rain-slicked streets, but the silence isn't awkward, it's filled with peaceful acceptance. When you arrive to the front of your crowded apartment building, he turns to you. Yinny, I want you to know that you can always reach out to me if you need anything. Being friends doesn't change that. His words tighten something in your throat, but you still manage to smile. The same goes for you, Soren. Thank you. Really. Good night. Good night. After a month, did you make the changes I asked for before we sent it to the client? You're trying to stay calm despite your boss's usual irritating tone. Yes. All of them? Yes. Did you double check? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Then why have they been calling me non-stop since the beginning of the meeting? Your boss's voice starts composed and ends in a shout, casting sudden silence over the entire office. How should I know? Your unexpected reply draws stunned looks from your coworkers. Your boss's face flushed bright red with rage. Just as the phone rings again, he answers and puts the call on speaker. A familiar, dreaded voice fills the room. It's a client who made your life hell lately. Hello? Hello, Mr. Miles. Sorry for the delay. I was in a meeting. Is there an issue with the proposal we sent? Your boss's tone is now softer than a purring kitten after a warm meal. No, quite the opposite. I just want to say how pleased I am with everything. The changes you made, though, you didn't inform me in advance, turned out to be very appropriate and necessary. Thank you. Your boss's face goes blank with confusion. You, on the other hand, shoot a smug "I told you so" glance around the room. I'm glad to hear that. Unless there's anything else, I need to take care of something urgent. Of course. Have a great day. Your boss swallows hard a few times, clearly lost for words before deciding to pretend nothing happened. He takes a sip of his coffee only to grimace. Oh, cold. Anyway, let's not drag meetings out like this again, that's all for now. As the meeting ends and your colleagues start filling out, you rise to leave but your boss's voice stops you. Yinny, could you stay a minute? You ignore the meaningful look your coworker throws your way and comply. Once everyone's gone, your boss turns to you with a surprisingly softer expression. That was good work. How would you feel about grabbing dinner sometime? No? Yucky? I don't want to hang out with you. You pause a little too long, thrown off by the absurdity of this meeting, and how it's now delaying your work even more. Is this a surprise business dinner? Oh no. So we're not meeting a client? No, yes. No client. Then I'll go ahead and book the usual table for the team. Your boss's face immediately returns to its usual strictness. For God's sake, Yinny, no client, no team. I'm talking about just dinner, just the two of us. Ew! Oh, now I get it. Thank God. So how about tonight? Oh, I already have plans for tonight. In that case, Saturday evening. Well, actually, a friend of mine was in a terrible car accident. Thankfully, nothing serious, but his arm is in the cast, so I need to be there to help him out. Your boss visibly stiffens at this answer, but chooses not to push you further. I see. Another time then. I just want to apologize. Apologize? Considering your boss's usual angry demeanor, even that could be considered progress. You're busy too. I'm sure it wasn't intentional. Just, if you let me leave a few hours early today, I'd really appreciate it. I'm gonna pick up the friend I mentioned. Of course, I hope your friend gets well soon. When you return to your desk in high spirits after leaving your boss behind in the meeting room, your coworker pounces with excitement. What do you say? Tell me now or I'll die of curiosity. I'll never forget the look on his face when the client thanked him over the phone. I wish I had taken a photo. Wait, did he actually apologize to you? As you sit down and toss the files onto your desk, you mutter, sort of? He invited me to dinner as an apology. Just then your coworker who was raising a mug to her lips spits out a sip. What? Calm down, you choke. Under the strange looks of a few people passing in front of her desk, you help her clean herself on the desk with a napkin. Ignoring the coffee stain on her shirt, she immediately turns back to you. Oh, shit. I never thought he was that type. He seemed like a true workaholic who didn't care about anything except the clients. But look at that. He even found out about your breakup with Soren. So, what'd you say to him? Wait, are you saying he was flirting with me? It felt like just a simple thank you to me. Do you have any idea how much trouble we were in with that client? He should be happy we finally made him happy. Your coworker shoots you a disbelieving look. Are you serious, Yinny? Last week, I broke my back trying to convince some client not to cancel and I didn't get any dinner invitations. You consider that she might be right, but honestly, you don't really care. Maybe I was just in a good mood. Either way, I don't think I'll be going out to dinner with anyone anytime soon. You know I can't leave Soren alone after that car crash, so for a while... Why was Soren in a car crash? What happened? Hearing this, your coworker also turns serious and drops the flirting topic. Right, how's he doing? Physically, pretty good. The arm in a cast limits movement, of course. When we walk his dog every day, I have to hold the leash or the little devil will immediately pick a fight with someone. Psychologically, yes? You pause for a moment, sighing involuntarily. To be honest, I have no idea. He seems happy as always, but the more I think about the timing of the accident, the worse I feel. Your coworker gently places a hand on your shoulder. But how could it be your fault? You didn't actually think that he crashed because he was driving you home, do you? That's totally coincidental. I doubt that. What I did that night was incredibly selfish. I showed up to dinner that he had carefully prepared for me and out of nowhere I told him I wanted to break up. Then I just ate dessert like nothing happened and let him drive me home in that terrible weather. I didn't even stop to think about how he might have felt. What if something worse had happened in that crash? I think I'm becoming like my exes. Irresponsible and heartless. You can't finish the sentence, but confessing what's been on your mind for the past month brings a strange sense of relief. A sad expression spreads over your coworker's face. Yinny, you're nothing like them. You're being too hard on yourself. Right now, what Soren needs is someone by his side, and you're doing exactly that. Honestly, I bet you didn't even think about him this much even when you were still together. He must be surprised too. In the silence that follows, the background clatter of keyboards and phone rings in the office drift to your ears. You realize your attachment to Soren has deepened since the accident, whether it's from guilt or fear of losing him. And the fact that it happened right after the breakup terrifies you. But for now, you decide not to dwell on it. You might be right. Anyway, I need to wrap up and head out. Can't waste the time off I got from the boss. Your coworker reels from the second shock of the day. That man definitely has a thing for women who piss him off. You leave your coworker alone with her brilliant observations and return to your work. After a while, you say goodbye to her and step outside with the well-earned pride of being the first to leave the office. Soren's car is waiting for you in the company parking lot. Due to his arm being in a cast, you've been driving for him, and now you're rushing to pick him up from his doctor's appointment without delay. Still, thanks to traffic, you don't manage to arrive before his appointment ends. Oh, my poor baby! As soon as Soren sees you in front of the hospital, he smiles. You really didn't need to come. I was gonna take a taxi anyway. No way! I can't allow that as your personal chauffeur. How'd the checkup go? It went well, but they said they need to wait a few more weeks before removing the cast. Though his smile remains, you can detect a sense of unease in his eyes. Yinny, I understand you're trying to help and I'll always be grateful. Still, if you're getting tired, I can ask another friend for help. You've already done so much for me. Have you really done enough? Logic tells you to say yes. To say goodbye to him and go back to your own home. To stop living in the guest room of your ex-boyfriend's house. But your heart says it's too soon. You can wait a little longer at least until he's fully recovered. With mock seriousness, you frown. Don't be ridiculous, Soren. You'll never find another driver as good as me. And the dog walker. And the chef. Your joke seems to dispel the shadows in his eyes. His voice now sounds lighter and more relaxed. I'm not so sure about the last one. Why don't we eat out today? I heard there's a nice restaurant nearby. I doubt it's as delicious as my lasagna. You mean your burnt lasagna? Not burnt, extra crispy. Now get in the car before I change my mind and drive us straight home. You're a bad girlfriend, but now you're a good friend. Neutral ending C. No, I want the other one. Also, he looks so hot here. Good God. So the first ending that we got, which was to be continued, is actually the continuation for when the full game releases. And neutral ending C is one of the endings, and there's also a neutral ending A that we're going to try and get. Then I want to revisit some of the extra choices as well, just to see if we unlock any scenes. Alright, I believe this is the other ending because the text is slightly different. But how I got here was I skipped the dry cleaner, didn't text Lars, I didn't kiss Soren when I walked in, did not ask about Princess, and didn't look at the photos, and now we are here. Your final dinner with Soren begins like any other, despite the tension churning inside of you. As the scent of the warm lamb chops he just served reaches your nose, you realize you're actually hungry. He takes his seat across from you at the table and offers an encouraging smile. Please, try it, love. I hope you like it. After everything he's done to prepare this for you, there's no way you could refuse. You pick up your fork under his attentive gaze and bring one of the pre-sliced pieces to your mouth. You don't need to be a gourmet to know that this is perfection. The crispness of the outside, the tenderness of the juicy center, the way every spice is balanced just right. You've always known he was skilled in the kitchen, but this is flawless. Absolutely perfect. I've never had anything like this in my life. He doesn't just react to the compliment itself. What satisfies him more is what he sees in your face and your eyes. Even in the soft glow of the candlelight, you can tell the emotion welling up behind his gaze. Smiling, he leans in forward to refill your wine glass. I'm so glad to hear that, love. For the next minute or so, the only sounds are the rain tapping against the window and your utensils against the plate. Even Princess is absent, granting you both a moment of rare privacy. There's nothing to gain from waiting any longer. You believe he deserves to know why you really came here. And if you delay it much more, you might lose the resolve to go through with it. You slowly set your fork on the edge of the plate, mustering your courage, and lift your gaze to meet his. Oh, we don't even get to choose this time. You just break up with him regardless. There's something I need to talk to you about. A flicker of surprise crosses his face at the seriousness in your voice. Even so, when he speaks, his tone is just as soft and understanding as always. Of course, love. I'm always ready to listen to you. Oh. You take a deep breath, keeping your eyes on his. No stalling, no sugarcoating. I've been feeling like something's different lately. About our relationship. Though the surprise in his expression deepens, he says nothing. He just watches you in silence. Waiting. Always waiting for you to finish. It's one of the things you've always loved most about him. And also in this moment, one of the hardest to face. His way of truly listening. Of giving weight to every word you say. But there's no turning back now. You have to follow through. This isn't easy to say, but I think we need to break up. The tension in the room is so thick, your words seem to hang in the air like smoke. His expression doesn't change, but you notice his eyes drift to his wine glass instead of staying on you. When he finally looks back at you, the warm light that's always lived in his eyes is gone. Okay, so this is still the same. Alright, I skipped the latter half of that conversation, because it was the exact same as the one in the previous breakup round. And we'll continue from here. Of course, if you'd rather not stay, I can call a taxi to take you home. You narrow your eyes towards the clock above the fireplace. It's gotten quite late. Oh, you're right. Time really flew. I think it's better if I head home now. We don't even stay for dessert. Seeing you rise from the table and gather your things, he offers to call a taxi for you. Would you like me to pack some dessert for you? Creme brulee. I made plenty since it's your favorite. I doubt I can eat it all myself. I am the worst person. I feel so bad. That'd be lovely, but please don't go through any more trouble on my behalf. It's no trouble at all. He gives you a gentle smile before heading into the kitchen. You wait alone for the taxi, realizing he probably used the dessert as an excuse to be by himself for a moment. Even if your friendship continues, you know things will never be quite the same again. As you absent-mindedly scroll through your phone, you notice a message from your coworker. You okay? You decide not to reply, at least not now. You'll explain everything tomorrow anyway. Or maybe you don't really know the answer yourself. Are you okay? Shortly after the taxi arrives, Soren emerges from the kitchen holding a neatly wrapped package and walks you out. Before stepping into the car, you glance back at him. Ooh! Beneath the umbrella he's holding for both of you, his face is partly obscured by shadow, and you can't quite see his eyes. Maybe that's why. Even his usually comforting smile feels distant tonight. Good night, Yandere. Good night, Soren. I don't like this breakup. This one's sad. You slip into the taxi without delay and soon you're leaving him and his home behind. Despite everything, a quiet sense of peace settles in your chest. You stay true to your decision. After a month, okay, the boss then asks us to make a bunch of changes, and then he asks you to dinner. We'll skip all of this because it's still the same. Yeah, then you turn to your coworker and she talks to you about your boss. Oh shit, never thought he was that time. He seemed like a true workaholic. He didn't care about anything except the clients. Oh, look at that. He even found out about your breakup with Soren. So what'd you say to him? Your hand hesitates briefly from wiping the table at the mention of Soren's name, but you're certain your coworker didn't notice. Of course I turned him down. Really? You did the right thing. But still, you know, for someone so angry and annoying, he does have a bit of charm and he's rich. If you had gone to dinner, we didn't have enough gossip material to last until our next promotion. It would have been fun to see his flirting skills. If I were in your place, I don't think I could have said no. Maybe the you from a year ago before you met Soren wouldn't have said no to that invitation either. There was something deeply alluring for you about getting an offer like that from a man who was always angry, difficult, and irritating. Oh no, Yiddy! But even now, while reviewing the new job applications every evening, you don't even think of your boss. You're still thinking about Soren, aren't you? You abandon your efforts to clean an invisible stain on your desk and let yourself drop in the chair as your coworker continues. You didn't expect him to accept the breakup so easily. You thought he'd resist, try to convince you that you still love him, just like the other men in your life did. The only difference is they didn't really mean it when they tried. Did he contact you after that dinner? Any call or message? No. I guess it's for the best. Oh, Before the silence has a chance to stretch further, your coworker quickly jumps in again. You're right. Did you see the last email from the boss? The same old nonsense? But this is one thing. Even the relief of having most of your work done by the end of your shift doesn't lift the strange hollowness beside you. After saying goodbye to your coworker and leave the office, instead of heading straight for the metro, you start walking down the street. Something in your life feels off. Before breaking up with Soren, you thought it was your relationship. Now, you're not sure what it is. So can we go back with Soren? You move aimlessly through the crowded street, drifting like part of the current. Oh? You consider calling him, even though the fact that he never tried to contact you after that night makes you think the breakup was the right decision for him too. Maybe this time you could be the one to make the first move. After all, since things didn't end badly, calling him just as a friend wouldn't be so strange. Oh? Just then, your eyes catch a tall man in a black hoodie in the crowd. For a moment, you almost think it's him, but you're certain he wouldn't be here. At this time, dressed like that, I'm pretty sure that is him. Come back! I miss you! But still, something in you insists that the man who disappeared so quickly was Soren. Your silly thought is interrupted by your phone vibrating in your pocket. You checked it and see a message confirming that the job interview you faked being sick to attend last week was successful. We're thrilled to inform you that your application as a digital marketing specialist at Blue Mice Media has been accepted. Congratulations! Woo, yay! A good position and a good company with good pay. Finally! Your joyful outburst draws a few stares from passerbys, but you couldn't care less. You feel like you're on cloud 9. Now you can finally focus on your career instead of men. The thing that's been making you feel wrong lately must have been this awful old job in your uncertain career. Your new job is going to be so good for you, right? A fresh start is waiting for you, but are you really sure? Neutral ending A. We did it! We got the ending! But I feel bad. I miss Soren. Aww. Oh well, let's get some of the extra scenes, cause I want to see what happens when we look through all the photos and everything. Alright, so, for the extra little tidbits, I stayed in the living room, and now we get the option to either look at the dog or look at the family photos. So I think first, let's actually look at the dog, and then we'll look at the photos. A low growl from Princess's bed catches your attention. Maybe someday you'll even miss this little demon. Though her eyes appear closed, her ears stand rigid, tracking your every move. No, you definitely won't miss her. And then something under her bed snags your notice. Too dark to make out, but she's clearly dragged a blanket to cover some suspicious bulge there. Smart enough to hide things, stupid enough to be obvious about it. Check the dog's bed. Ooh, okay. Alright, check the dog's bed. As you rise cautiously to your feet and approach, the chihuahua lifts her nose high in the air but remains perfectly still. Encouraged by her lack of movement, you slowly lean towards the bed. Easy, princess. I'm just checking something, and I swear, even if you stole one of his used boxes, I won't make a fuss. Though Princess bares her teeth at your absurd muttering, she doesn't lunge. Maintaining your calm, you reach around it to the other side of the tiny bed, and slip your hand beneath it, quickly pulling out whatever soft thing your fingers brush against. To be honest, Princess's secret treasure isn't quite worthy of the mystery. Just a small, tattered, cheap plush toy far past its prime. She probably snuck it back without Soren's knowledge after it had been set aside to be thrown out. Yet the moment you see the toy, a strange familiar feeling creeps over you. It's as if something stirs in the back of your mind. A memory. A sense. The dog's sudden bark nearly makes you jump out of your skin, and you drop the dog toy in alarm. Easy, girl. Easy. Calm down. But it doesn't take long to realize you're already too late. In an instant, the once motionless dog turns feral and clams down on your neck with shocking speed. Oh, crap! With a surge of pain, you shake her off roughly and collapse onto the couch just as you hear your boyfriend's panicked footsteps approaching. Baby, what happened? Are you okay? She bit me! When you glance down towards the bed to point at the culprit, she's already vanished. Naturally, with the toy in tow. That little possessive devil. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. He rushes to your side and kneels in front of you, eyes wide with concern. Where did she bite you? Is it bleeding? You rub your leg, and now that the shock is wearing off, you feel a milder ache. I don't think it's too bad, but it hurt. We need to take a look and disinfect it. As he reaches towards your leg to help you pull down the long stocking beneath your skirt, you feel your cheeks flush with heat, not just from the physical closeness, but from the same old dread, that sudden vulnerability of exposing your body even just for a moment. Even though he's seen you naked countless times, it doesn't erase the shame. The scars that once marked your body as evidence of your pain may have faded over time, but the ones in your mind remain untouched. Your only solace is that Axel, the one who gifted you that trauma, never reappeared after your breakup. He's gone from your life. Unlike you, Soren is focused entirely on the bite mark on your leg. And thankfully it's not too deep. I'll go grab the first aid kit right away. Watching him brush off stirs something strange in you. He genuinely cares. There's someone in your life who truly cares. And even though that would disappear the moment you share the news of your breakup, the thought brings you a brief sense of warmth. When he returns with the first aid kit, the small wound, the one you would normally ignore, gets cleaned and dressed with the utmost care. Does it still hurt, darling? Not really. I'm feeling better. This is my fault. I should have been more careful. I shouldn't have left you two alone. No, Soren, it's fine. You couldn't have known. She's never done that before. But what if she had actually hurt you? You know you have to stop him. You're in the next room anyway, and I hope you don't actually think I couldn't handle her. He doesn't look convinced. He studies you as if weighing your words. Not entirely sure. You give him a playful punch on the shoulder and smile. But then, just for a moment, his gaze grows serious again. I really need to get Princess into some proper training. I can't put it off any longer. Relieved that the matter seems to be resolved. You reach down to pull your stocking back up only for his hands to suddenly close around yours, stopping you. You freeze, taken off guard by the unexpected heat of his palms. And then he leans in, bringing his face close to your leg. You feel his breath, hot and steady against your bare thigh. Whoa! And then his lips follow. What are we doing? A tremor runs through you from head to toe. Emotions you can't quite name clash violently inside you, just like how he's gonna clash violently inside me later, hopefully. Woohoo! And yet, it's just a small kiss. He rises again with a carefree grin, completely unaware of the storm he's just stirred. He can stir me. I better check the meat before it burns. I'll be right back. Can I check your meat? You know what? I swear to God. You avert your gaze quickly. Oh, right. You already know with absolute certainty that tonight is going to be difficult. Alright, and then there's the dinner scene. The dinner scene's the same as always, because the only option is to continue eating. So we don't get the option to break up with him. And the breakup meter is quite low on the side as well. And instead of saying break up with him, it now says stay with him. Which, you know what? I do want to stay with him. To be continued. Okay, now we look at the family photos and see what happens. Your eyes catch on the family photos scattered across many corners of the room. You've often heard Soren talk about his happy childhood, unlike yours. You get it from the couch and approach a console, picking up one of the framed pictures on the top. It's an old childhood photo of Soren. And you're not surprised to see him posing with the same quiet, composed demeanor he has now. The young woman hugging him beams at the camera, radiantly beautiful and effortlessly charming despite her simple dress. You recognize her as his mother, who passed away from illness when he was very young. Behind them are his warm-looking grandmother, and in contrast a large, stern-faced grandfather, more serious than the others in the photo but somehow still trustworthy. And clearly, the one Soren most resembles. After losing his parents early in life, Soren had been raised in this house by his grandparents, and he had always spoken of them with love. Though they're no longer alive, the love they gave him still lives on within him. Moments like this make it hard not to envy him for growing up in a warm, loving, and secure home. Even though both your parents are still alive, that hasn't made a difference. You've always felt far removed from their affection. As you continue looking at the framed photo, something catches your attention. There isn't a single photo of Soren's father, who you know died in an accident before he was born. In fact, you can't remember whether he has ever said anything about him. You're surprised at your sudden interest in the family of the boyfriend you're planning to break up with, yet a deep curiosity stirs within you. Check the photo album. You easily find the family album Soren had shown you a few times before, sitting next to heavy encyclopedias in one of the wooden cabinets. Your own family never had good enough memories to fill such thick albums, so these held a special place for you. Maybe you'll come across a photo of his father in one of them. Before flipping through the albums, you don't forget to call out to him from the living room entrance. I'm gonna take a quick look at your family albums. Is that okay? Of course, sweetheart. Whatever you like. Feel free. The sounds from the kitchen aren't enough to tell you that he's quite busy. At least until he returns, you can pass the time flipping through the thick albums. And despite all the dust you end up inhaling, you find plenty of photos of Soren's mother as a child and a young woman, and even of his grandparents in their youth. You also spot several dogs, much larger breeds compared to Princess, but no one who might be Soren's father. And just as you pull the album from the edge of the shelf, a small notebook wedged behind it falls to the floor. The illustration on the cover, a knight in full armor on horseback, instantly reminds you of Soren's fascination with medieval armor and weapons. And you wonder if this might be an old journal of his. Ooh, look inside the notebook. You set aside the photo album and eagerly flip through the notebook's pages, only to be disappointed when you realize most of it's filled with handwritten recipes. Definitely not a vegan's. Every dish features meat. Considering his grandfather was a butcher, you can't exactly blame Soren. Soren, are you a cannibal? The handwriting looks like his. But deeper in, small newspaper clippings glued to the pages grab your attention. Mr. Old, missing persons reports, accidents and suicides. You're puzzled. He's never been into true crime documentaries or films, unlike you. So why did he collect these as a child? Was his dad a serial killer? As you skim, one headline stops you cold. Famous actor drives car off cliff, body still unrecovered. The accompanying photo dominates the page, likely because it made the front page. As someone who once took acting classes and still harbors that passion, the story pulls you in. Yet the longer you stare at the actor's face, the more unease prickles under your skin. A soft growl makes you turn. Oh no, she's drifting in like a ghost! Princess has left her bed and is now tugging at a photo from the album you left on the floor. Before you can stop yourself, you shout, "Crap! Drop it right now!" You lunge for the album, but the dog, now defiant, rips the photo clean in half with her teeth. Damn it! Soren's footsteps hurry into the room. Sweetheart, what's wrong? Did Princess do some— Oh. He freezes, staring at the torn photo in your hands. I'm so sorry, I didn't even notice her coming. He takes the fragments, checking the date on the back. This was the last photo we took together, before my mother died. No! Oh, God, what have I done? Don't blame yourself. At least all the pieces are here, maybe we can restore it digitally with AI. His voice is gentle, but his grip on the fragments is white-knuckled. You tore more than paper. Tore his heart. I really didn't see her. I know, just bad luck. He kisses your cheek in forgiveness, but you don't buy it. As he helps gather the albums and carries the fragments to his room, you know his mood is ruined. And you've barely been here half an hour. This is what you get for snooping through people's private things. Wait, let's go back. What if we don't look inside it? You've grown enough to know better than to snoop through people's private journals. It probably contains Soren's childhood memories, little family secrets like how his grandmother kept candies locked away to protect his teeth. Nothing you need to know. As you pick up the notebook to return it to the shelf, you notice Princess slinking towards the photo album. You know exactly how much Soren treasures those family photos. Moving quickly, you heft the heavy album in one smooth moment, thwarting the little devil's plans. Thought you ruined the album and my relationship with him, didn't you? You sneaky little demon. Not that you don't want the same outcome, just not like this. Princess snarls in frustration, her plot foiled. He calls from the kitchen. Is Princess bothering you, sweetheart? No, everything's fine. We're getting along great, don't worry. Great, I'm almost done. Disaster? Narrowly averted. The thought of having to break up with him after his dog destroyed precious family photos. You can't imagine a worse atmosphere for that conversation. Alright, and there we have it. And last little bonus scene. This time when we come across the knives, we are not going to ask Soren about them. Don't ask Soren. You've known since the beginning that he has been interested in cooking ever since he was a child. So you're sure those knives serve a real purpose. Instead of wasting time with meaningless questions, you start gathering them up only to realize just how sharp they still are. Despite their age, the moment your hand brushes against one, a cut appears on your hand, starts bleeding quickly. A gasp of pain escapes your lips. Oh! He immediately sets the pan down and rushes over to you. Are you okay, love? What happened? Let me see. I was just trying to clean up the knives, but I cut myself. You wince from the sharp stinging as you show him the wound. Luckily, it's not too deep. I'll grab the first aid kit right away. Please just sit here and wait for me, darling. You sit on the chair he pulls out and rest your head on the table, consumed by the pain and frustration. While waiting for him to return, your mind drifts to strange thoughts. Maybe this is karma. Maybe karma won't even let you enjoy the meal your soon-to-be ex-boyfriend has cooked. That's when you notice a faint vibration on the table. Lifting your head, you see Soren's phone buzzing rapidly beneath a snack wrapper. You still remember the password he entered next to you months ago. Maybe he hasn't changed it. Snoop through his phone? Alright, let's look through his phone. For someone like you, who's been cheated on more than once in past relationships and found out each time by snooping through a boyfriend's phone, this move is almost instinctual. Maybe you'll find a clue that'll make it easier to break up. No matter how devoted Soren seems, you know better than anyone that no man is ever quite what he appears to be. Check his photos. You know that most men tend to forget to delete photos that are automatically stored, so you make your move here instead. However, contrary to what you find, Soren's photo library is filled with pictures of you. There are so many, and you can't even remember when most of them were taken. What's more, unlike the photos stored on your ex-boyfriend's phones, especially Lars, these aren't nude or provocative shots of you in your underwear. At first glance, you spot a few poorly taken photos that you want to delete immediately, but you refrain from doing so. It's likely that he'll do that for you at the end of the night. Yet among them is one, apparently taken during a video call when you're wearing that pink striped grey hoodie you love but lost during your move. Your hair in a messy home bun. You look careless yet somehow picture perfect in a way you could never intentionally capture. Oh, he loves us so much. The fact that this photo will be deleted at the end of the night is enough to make you feel a bit sentimental for a moment. Just then the sound of his approaching footsteps becomes audible, prompting you to immediately put the phone back in its place. He appears at the door shortly after, immediately approaching you with a first aid kit. He gently cleans the cut on your hand and carefully wraps it. Will you be able to eat with this hand, my love? No, can you feed me? Can you breastfeed me? Yiddy! Karma briefly rears its head again in your mind, but with the pain subsiding, you're able to respond to him in a more neutral tone. It's not that big of a cut. I think I'll manage. I really shouldn't have asked you to do anything after your long day. I'm really sorry for that. This is not your fault. Just as you're about to drown in guilt, you jump in quickly. Please don't say that. It was just a small accident. He's still looking very apologetic. Places a gentle kiss on your forehead before getting up from the chair beside you. Thank you for helping, my love. I'll take care of the rest. A little while later, when he says everything is ready, you walk with him into the living room. Well, and we're back to the dinner scene. I want to check his messages though. So this is the last little bonus scene that we're going to do. Let's snoop through his phone. And let's look at his messages. Since checking messages is always the most basic and secure method, you quickly go there. It doesn't take long to realize the most recent message is work-related. You skip it and start scanning through his latest conversations. But just as his boring chats begin to wear down your patience, one message suddenly jolts you. It's from Lars, sent a month ago. All prior messages have been deleted. So, does she know what you did? What? Soren left the question unanswered, so it's up to you to figure out what Lars meant. Since you never believed there was truth in Lars' claims, this message catches you completely off guard. What could have possibly happened between them that would make Lars send something like this? What could Soren have done? Considering how reliable, loyal, understanding, and kind he's always been. Or at least seemed, you're more confused than ever. But who could you even ask about it? The ex-boyfriend who repeatedly deceived you? Lars? or your current boyfriend Soren, whom you're about to break up with because something in your gut told you this relationship wasn't right. Now you're no longer sure who could give you the real answer. Alright, and then he comes back with his first aid kit, and it's all the same there, and I believe this is still the continue path as well. Yeah, continuing is the only option. Alright, that's all the endings and routes for the demo of how to break up with your Yandere boyfriend. This is really interesting. I am a massive fan of this team's games. We've covered some of their games before, namely the Winter Wedding, which I had so much fun with. I also have the video linked in the description down below if you want to check that out. So I am a very big fan of their art style, their writing, and just the overall production of their games is always incredible. The story here is very interesting because it's not just a simple, I'm gonna break up with my boyfriend and now he's a yandere. It's like, I'm breaking up with my boyfriend because I have deep-seated insecurity issues and a lot of trauma from past relationships that have affected my self-esteem to the point where I don't feel deserving of a good relationship. I'm still being comforted by bad habits that I am used to because the fear of having the other shoe hanging above our head ready to drop is too scary. And I think that's something really sad. As someone who's been in a similar boat, it took many years for my husband to help me realize that I was loved, and I still struggle with it personally. There are some bad days, and it never really goes away. So I feel bad for MC here quite a lot. The neutral endings are very intriguing. I wonder if, like, past the demo, the one of him stalking us is going to be expanded because I would really like to see. I did see on the devs page there's going to be 15 endings. So there's 5 good endings, 5 neutral ones, and 5 bad endings. I'm keen to play through all of them and get all of them when the game releases. One thing I'm very intrigued about is to see how this is going to play out, especially when the full game comes out and the to be continued route gets updated. Because I also saw that there's a possibility of ending up with Princess or Lars, and I really want to see how that's going to happen. But I'm very excited for the full release. I can't wait to find out what he actually did to Lars. I can't wait to find out about the diary snippets that he's been hiding about the actor driving off the cliff and also about his dad as well. And most of all, very keen to see how his yandere tendencies are going to pick up because at the moment they're very soft and not as apparent as the one in the neutral stalker ending. So I'm very keen to see what happens. But thank you so much for watching and for being here. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. I think Soren is absolutely gorgeous. Lars is pretty hot as well, but like Soren is just so pretty. I love him. I really want to see him again. But if you like this video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on the future videos I will do on this game. And also if you want exclusive content from me, such as full reaction to spicy scenes, exclusive playthroughs, and also spicy art that I draw of very hot men, feel free to check out my Patreon, link is in the description box below. And as I always say, until the next fictional man, take care.